Let's get this meeting started, folks. Colleagues, members of the public, we are under a bit of a time crunch today. There is, as we're getting at the end of the year, there's multiple committees. Even though this is our regular scheduled time, Budget has asked for this room in an hour from now, so I'm going to try to move this meeting as quick as possible. I'm hopeful that nothing on this agenda is going to require too much deliberation, but we do what we have to do. So, good morning, members of the public and members of the committee. This is the regular meeting of the Planning and Land Use Committee. Mr. Rosales, would you please call the roll to get us started?
Yes, sir. Blumenfield.
Present.
Hutt.
Here.
Nazarian. Absent. Lee.
Present.
Rahman. Absent. 3 members and a quorum.
Great. I said we're going to try to move quickly. We're going to take public comment at the beginning from people who've signed up for 3 or more items, or any item that will be taken up on consent. We'll do that after, and then our goal is to get everyone who wants to speak. We'll then move through the remaining agenda items one by one, listen to the staff presentations, then take public comment, and then vote on the items accordingly. We'll then take general public comment at the end of the meeting. If you could read the rules, Mr. Rosales, into the record.
Members of the public wishing to speak on one agenda item only shall have an opportunity to speak for 1 minute. Appellants and applicants will be given an opportunity to speak when their item is called. Each appellant and applicant has a total of 3 minutes to speak. An appellant can choose to have a single representative speak on his or her behalf, or divide the 3 minutes among his or her team. Anyone else, including an attorney or project manager, wishing to speak on an appellant's behalf who does not do so during this 3-minute period may offer a minute of public comment whenever the committee chairperson opens the public comment period for the item. Therefore, we expect that appellants and applicants have their respective teams assembled and ready to present at the appropriate times today. Members of the public wishing to speak on more than one item shall state that and shall be allowed to speak for a total of 2 minutes. Failure to submit public comment in a timely manner before the comment period for the item ends results in forfeiture of the opportunity to participate in public comment for the item. As stated by the chair, general public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting. Mr. Chair, if I may, for the record, a community impact statement has been submitted for item number 7 by Del Rey Neighborhood Council in support of the matter. Madam City Attorney, please provide additional guidance on public comment.
When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not speaking on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are speaking on an agenda item, you will get 1 brief warning from the city attorney or the chair. If you do not immediately get clearly on topic, or if you stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your time and we will move on to the next speaker. We will inform you when your time is up.
Great. Okay, before we begin public comment, just wanted to say item 1, due to noticing issues, will be continued to a date to be determined unless the clerk has a date already. Item 10, we're going to continue that item till January 13th, or the first plum meeting in 2026. I'm going to recommend items 2 through 4 and 6 through 8 for consent, with the following recommendations. For item 2, to adopt the motion. For item 3, to deny the appeal because the appeal has been withdrawn. For item 4, to adopt the draft ordinance and environmental clearance included in the city attorney report dated December 4th, 2025, and to add the following instruction. Instruct the Department of Building and Safety with the assistance of the city attorney to report back with recommendations regarding the duration and extension of permits. Item 6 is to adopt the motion, and we're working with CD11, the city and city attorney. For item 7 is to approve the appointment of the South Area Planning Commission. For item 8, it's to adopt the draft ordinances, including the environmental clearances and findings attached to the city attorney report dated December 4th. And for item 9, I will propose an amendment adding a few words to the end of the first moving clause so that it reads, I quote, I therefore move that the City Council instruct the Department of Building and Safety and the Department of City Planning with the assistance of the Los Angeles Fire Department and the Los Angeles World Airports and the City Attorney to report back within 90 days on steps necessary to allow or expand private access to existing helicopter pads across the city of Los Angeles, and then to add in the words, for upcoming major events. Colleagues, does anyone wish to call any of these items special that I mentioned?
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
I believe 4, there were some additional changes. Maybe check with your staff.
Okay, so we'll hold 4. But right now we're going to move to public comment for people who have signed up for 3 or more items. Is there anyone here who has signed up for 3 or more items? Come now. Okay, because we typically have people speak at the time of the item, But if you signed up for more than 2 items, then we need to have you speak at the beginning. So come on up.
Sorry, Chair Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office. I believe there were some other changes on other items. If you want to ask if there's changes from staff or
Okay.
council offices.
Okay, so on item 12, it says item 6, but this is the one with the 4311 South Lincoln Boulevard. Yes, at item 6, it's basically an amendment that's going to read, I therefore move this council instruct the planning department to revoke the issuance of the coastal exemption for the period located at 4311 South Lincoln Boulevard and associated with permit number, and it's a whole long number, but it ends in 2392, inasmuch as the construction of the new freestanding cinder block walls, environmental impacts have not been analyzed or community engagement occurred, or provide alternative actions to restore access. And then it says, I further move that upon the revocation of coastal exemption, again, a long number ending in 14-CEX, the council instruct the Department of Building and Safety and the Department of Planning in consultation with the city attorney to take any necessary actions to restore coastal access that existed prior to the construction of the cinder block wall or provide alternative actions. Okay, I wanted to make sure we read that into the record in advance, and now we'll move to public comment. So speaker, please state your name and which items you wish to speak to, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Ann Wynn with CCA, speaking on items 11, 12, and 13. I'm here in strong support of the South Park Towers project. The development is a welcome addition to our city skyline that will bring hundreds of housing units, hotel rooms, and 13,000 square feet of retail and commercial space.
I'm sorry, Speaker. We were going to hear all those items together in one hearing, so any comments on 11, 12, and 13, which was in the instructions, will be heard at one time during the hearing on those items. It's one project.
Okay, but you're already up here. Go ahead and finish.
Thank you. 13,000 square feet of retail and commercial space in the fastest growing part of downtown. It would complement the park across the street and allow people to live closer to employment centers like the California Hospital Medical Center. Jade Enterprises, the developer, is a proven, committed downtown LA community stakeholder that has built multiple projects and with hundreds of housing units and thousands of square feet of active retail space. We are excited for this new addition and urge your approval. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, next speaker for 3 or more items. Understanding that these items are going to be taken up together, but go ahead, sir.
I was hurt, same thing.
Same thing, okay. Is there anyone else here for 3 or more items? Seeing no one else here, public comment on multiple items is closed, and we will now move to the consent calendar. Is there anyone here to speak to one of the consent items? And again, that is items 2 through 4, 6 through 8. Although not, which one are we holding? 4?
6 through 8? Yes.
6 through, yeah, the consent items are 2 through 4 and 6 through 8.
Were you going to hold number 4, Mr. Chair?
You were going to hold
Yeah,
4.
hold number 4. Okay, so 2 and 3 and 6 through 8. Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. And item number 1 can be continued to the next meeting of January 13, 2026?
Yes, without, we don't need to vote on that, right? It's without objection?
No.
Okay. That's it. Okay, so we're now take vote on the consent items. Call the roll.
You were going to take comments, I thought, on the
Oh.
consent items.
Okay.
That would be 2, 3, and then 6
6 through
through
8. Is anyone here specifically for those
10.
items?
6 through 8.
Seeing no one coming forward for those items, then public comment on those items is closed, and we will move to the next item. We'll take a vote on those items, on the consent items.
Blumenfield,
Blumenfield, aye.
Hutt,
Aye.
Nazarian, absent. Lee,
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
Those items are approved.
Okay, so where does that bring us next? I believe, is
Item
that item
4?
4? Okay. You could read 4 into the record?
Item 4. Okay.
Item 4 is a categorical exemption and a report from the city attorney's office and draft ordinance relative to amending the municipal code to incorporate by reference certain portions of the 2025 edition of the California Building Standards Code and to carry forward local administrative, climatic, geographical, topographical, or environmental changes.
Okay. I don't know if we need a report on this, but is there, we'll open up public comment on this item. If anyone wishes to speak to this item, come forward. Mr. Herman, come forward. Please make haste. We have a short period of time for this meeting, as I mentioned earlier. You're on item 4. You have 1 minute. Go ahead, sir.
No me diga así, cabrón puto.
Don't tell me yes, motherfucker.
Por ejemplo, este cabrón estado de California, puro pinche mierda de polvo y cochinada.
For example, the state of California, it's just pure shit made out of dust.
Stick to the item, sir.
Sí, estoy hablando del California Building Standards, you pinche puto de codes.
I'm
We
talking.
understood that one. Go ahead, next.
Estoy hablando, cabrón. Deja que explicar, puto.
We all understood it. Go ahead. You're speaking. We understand. Go ahead.
Ella tiene que explicar.
She
en
doesn't
mi
need to
lengua,
explain it. We
cabrón.
understood it. Go ahead.
Señor, translación, por favor.
Sir, translation, please.
Mire, jodido, cuando yo diga algo, escuche bien, porque si no, toma, güey, puto.
Look, fucker, listen up, because if not, take it that way.
This is Trump country, motherfucker. Get it right. I can speak English and Spanish. I'm bilingual. I'm an American. Fuck you, asshole.
Muchas gracias, señor. Okay, anyone else here to speak to this item? Seeing no additional speakers, this public comment on this item is closed. Can I ask the city attorney, we have an additional amendment on this, is that right? To request that the city attorney present a revised ordinance including, what does it say? Items 1, 3 through 10 in this DBS letter. Right. So that'll get us the report back.
Excuse me, Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office. Can the clerk confirm that the DBS letter is in the council file?
The DBS letter was submitted in the morning. There's only one letter.
Okay, so, yeah, in the DBS letter that's in the council file, is that correct, Chair?
Yes, with those instructions. And also to add the following instruction, which is to instruct the Department of Building and Safety with the assistance of the city attorney to report back with recommendations regarding the duration and extension of permits. Okay? All right, any comments or questions on this item? Then we will vote on this item as amended. Call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hutt. Aye. Nazarian absent. Lee.
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
Rahman.
Yes.
Approved as amended.
Okay. Next, I believe is item 5, is that correct? We'll move to item 5.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, this is the...
Item-
Go ahead.
Item 5 is a negative declaration and related CEQA findings, reports from the mayor and the city planning commission relative to a resolution for a general plan amendment to the Wilmington Harbor City Community Plan to amend footnote 10 to allow a site-specific 65-foot height limit. The item also includes a draft ordinance effectuating a height district change from height district number 1VL to 1L for the project in Council District 15.
Great. So we'll have a very brief planning report, then members of the public comment, and then comments from District 15, and then a quick committee discussion. Go ahead. And again, we're under a very short timeline, so please.
Good afternoon,
is yours.
everyone. Council members, I'm Norely Martinez from the Planning Department. Item 5 before you is a general plan amendment and a height district change for the expansion of a cold storage facility located in the Wilmington Harbor City Community Plan and Council District 15. The project was approved by City Planning Commission August 14. One of the entitlements for a zoning administrative determination was subsequently appealed by an aggrieved party called Coalition for Responsible Economic Development in Los Angeles. The ZAD appeal, which is item 1 on the agenda, has been continued and is not before Plum today. However, because the appeal points are related to the environmental review, we did submit an appeal response. As an overview, the project will result in a 2-story, 65-foot tall, 267,960 square foot facility, including the demolition of a portion of an existing cold dock, a new freezer addition, new engine, mechanical, electrical room, fire pumps, automated racking systems, and other improvements. The site is zoned QR2-1VL Kugu and QM3-1VL Kugu, and is designated heavy industrial and light industrial land uses. The Commission's actions included recommended approvals of a plan amendment to the Wilmington Community Plan to amend footnote 10 and allow site-specific 65-foot and height district change from 1VL to 1L. Commission also approved a zoning administrative determination for transitional height and partially approve a waiver of dedication and improvements. The appellant of the CAD expressed concerns regarding the air quality and noise analysis done in the negative declaration. However, supplemental technical analysis was done in response to these points prior to CPC taking action, and the appellant has not raised any new information to dispute the CPC's findings on the case. Stamps transmitted to the council file an appeal response dated December 4th, 2025. With the staff responses to the appeal points raised. Planning staff recommends that Plum and City Council adopt the resolution for the general plan amendments and find that the project assessed in the negative declaration as per Commission's recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now, are there any members of the public who wish to speak to this item? If you are, please come forward. Remember, you get a total of 2 minutes. So, Mr. Herman, you come forward, you will have exhausted your 2 minutes. So go ahead. If anyone else has wished to speak to this, please come forward.
Cállate, cabrón. No me digas así, cabrón. Estoy hablando del pinche calles de Wilmington y Harbor City.
Don't talk to me like that. I'm talking about the damn streets of Wilmington and Harbor City.
Este pinche madre de 40 pies de edificio chupa mi verga como esto, cabrón. Mi dedo.
This damn building of 40 feet can suck me off like this, my finger.
Nosotros no queremos una expansión de esta mierda de putos de ustedes, porque siempre no hay casas, no hay lugar para gente mexicana para vivir con su pinche peligroso edificio de madre mía jodido.
We don't want this damn expansion of the building because there's no fucking place for Mexican people to live with this damn terrible building, mother of mine.
Entonces, cabrón, Bloomfield, no me diga que tú sabes qué está pasando en este pinche mundo con el pinche pelón Nazarian. Ustedes, güeyes, no saben nada. Chinga tu pinche madres. Gracias.
So you and Nazarian, don't you tell me that you know what's happening in this world. Go fuck yourselves.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, are there anyone else come to speak on this item? Seeing no other speakers, public comment on this item is closed. Committee members, is there any discussion on this item? Seeing no discussions, I'm going to make a recommendation that we adopt the city planning CEQA findings as its own, adopt the negative declaration, adopt the resolution for a general plan amendment to the Wilmington Harbor City Community Plan attached to the City Planning Commission report dated September 25, 2025, subject to conditions of approval, and adopt project findings and adopt the ordinance for a height district change attached to the City Planning Commission report dated September 25, 2025, subject to the conditions of approval, including T conditions attached to the council file, and adopt project findings. If we could call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hutt.
Yes.
Nazarian. Nazarian?
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Rahman. Yes. 5 ayes, and this item is adopted.
Okay, what's next? Is that 9?
Yes, Chair. Item 9 is motion Lee Padilla relative to reporting back within 90 days on the steps necessary to allow or expand private access to existing helicopter pads across the city. This item is also referred to the Public Safety Committee.
Okay. Are there any members of the public wish to speak to this item? Ma'am, are you wish to speak to this item? I can't hear you. Do you wish? You do not wish to speak to this item? We're on item 9. Okay. Seeing no members of the public wishing to speak on this item, let's move to, sorry, I can't have a discussion. Do you wish to speak to item 9? You came to the meeting with an intent of speaking on an item. Is this the item you came to speak on? Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead, start the time, please. We're in a very tight, Budget Committee's meeting here in
Okay,
35
well, you're the one that
minutes.
does the meeting weird, okay? So number 9, if whatever, if Greater Toluca Lake is what, for it or against, I don't know, I support them. But the main thing with the airports that I want you to know is like, I really think that they need proper training. I just said this upstairs for how to deal with human trafficking, whether it's labor trafficking, whether it's sex trafficking, or whether it's R1 visa abuse, like by Scientology and stuff like that, and how to acknowledge what a high control group looks like, and if somebody wants to escape. That needs to be on all your trainings for any airport commission, anything. So I am asking for you to please put that in, because we don't want human trafficking, labor trafficking, or people to end up with R1 visas making $47 a week for 110 hours a week because they were trapped in the, your Hollywood parade and sold a bill of goods by Scientology. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers on the queue, no one else is here to speak to this item. We'll move to the committee. Does anyone wish to speak to this item? Mr. Lee? No? Okay, then I'm going to recommend that we move this item forward. Do you have questions on the item? Okay, thank you. That's right. We have questions on this item. So if we could have, I believe, the CLA come forward. What's that? We have staff for this item?
For item 9, Chair,
Yes.
I believe the instruction was to the Department of Building Safety and the Department of City Planning with assistance from the fire department, the airports, and the city attorney.
Right. And this is to get a report back on what the steps are.
Correct.
Do we have? Wonderful. Certainly. Okay, Councilwoman Hutt, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I just have 2 questions on item 12.
Item 9.
Item 9 by CD 12. What safeguards and regulatory changes are contemplated to ensure that public safety operations with LA Fire Department and LAPD, what will be maintained immediately and compromisable priority access to these pads, regardless of the commercial operation?
Hagu Solomon Carey for the record. Thank you for the question. In so much as this report back will be covering a variety of topics, we're happy to include that. I can say from the planning side of things, typically helipads would have a conditional use permit and have stated conditions. How much of that overlaps with the topics you raised around public safety from other departments would likely be explored with those departments.
Thank you. And then my next question is, the motion links this study to emerging urban air mobility sector. Will the report specifically address whether the noise profile and regulatory needs of these next-gen aircrafts are fundamentally different from current helicopters, and if they will necessitate entirely new regulations to protect airspace noise levels?
Hagu again for the record. Yeah, I think noise is probably a significant factor in all urban aerial mobility, so we're happy to look into that, again, for the report back.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd be very interested in the noise factor. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to recommend that we move forward with this report back, again with the amendment that I read at the beginning, which basically just adds the caveat that we're looking at this for upcoming major events. It's not across the board, but it's for major events. So with that, let's call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hutt.
Aye.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Rahman. 5 ayes, and this motion is adopted as amended.
Great, thank you. And next, 10, we've already continued. 11, 12, and 13 we're going to take together as one project. And it relates to a mixed-use project in downtown LA. So if we could have a planning department present their report, then we'll ask for the appellant, the applicant, public, councilwoman's office, and then committee discussion. Go ahead.
Mr.
Yes.
Chair, sorry to interrupt you. Wanted to alert you that for item 11, CD9 has submitted a letter to the file indicating that the project should be denied and therefore it should not be approved. And also, there is a communication from CD14 on items 11, 12, and 13 with a couple of amended conditions and also their recommended action on 11, 12, and 13. Don't know if you want me to read those amended conditions at this time.
Sure, go ahead.
So for item 11, this is a communication from Council District 14. Council District 14 recommends denial of the track map appeal and to sustain the CPC recommendation. For item 12, CD14 again recommends denial of the appeals, sustaining the CPC approval of the entitlements with the following modifications. Amend condition 32E to read as follows. At least 40% of the amenity space within the paseo shall be landscaped with planting. Amend condition 33 to read as follows. Pickup, drop-off zones. Pickup, drop-off curb cutouts on the street may be permitted along the Venice Boulevard frontage consistent with Downtown Design Guide, Section 5A6 and Figure 5.2. Item 13, recommend to approve the project with the following modification. Restore sign S1 as recommended in the ordinance and exhibits as recommended in the city planning staff report. That concludes the communication from CD14.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll start with the report.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Moore Song with LA City Planning. Again, items 11 and 12 and 13 are before you right now. Item 11 is specifically a second level tract appeal. Item 12 is a first level of appeal of a conditional use, site plan review, and director's determination entitlements. And then item 3 is a consideration of a transfer of floor area rights, or TFAR, as well as a sign district for the project. Both appeals were filed by the same appellant who owns a nearby property and alleges that the project will violate a recorded covenant to provide off-site parking for the appellant's property, and that also the project's proposed sign district should be extended to encompass the appellant's property as well. As detailed in planning's appeal responses, which have been uploaded to the respective council files, the project does comply with the off-site parking requirements, and there is no merit to any of the appeals or the request for the expansion of the sign district. Planning has also reviewed the appellant's 2 additional submittals to the council files dated December 5th, 2025 and December 8th, 2025, and concludes that those documents do not add any new arguments or any validity to the appeal points. In addition, Planning has also reviewed the applicant's letter dated December 8th, 2025, submitted to the respective council files as well, requesting that changes be made to the sign districts, as well as several conditions of approval. Planning recommends that the Plum Committee not make these changes to reflect consistency with the actions taken by the City Planning Commission. As such, Planning recommends that the Plum Committee deny the 2 appeals and approve the TFAR and sign district as is before the committee. Additionally, Planning would also like to note, just for the record, that there was a typo in the City Planning Commission letter of determination, and that the environmental case number is ENV-2018-3337-SCEA. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next, we'll move to public comment on, well, no, here I think we go to the applicant first, and then so let's move next to the appellant, and then we'll have the applicant. Is the appellant here for this project? So you can come forward. You'll get 3 minutes as the appellant. No, we're about to get to public comment. We first have to hear from the appellant, then the applicant, and then the public comment. So if the appellant is here, we'll hear first from the appellant. Then we'll hear from the applicant, and then we'll have public comment. So, sir, are you representing the appellant? I can't, sorry, are you the appellant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have up to 3 minutes.
Time for the 3 cases.
Speak into the mic, sir.
I'm sorry. There is 3 cases for that one. How many minutes I have the time? I adjust myself.
Well, since there's 3, will 5 minutes be enough? I have to offer the appellant and the applicant the same amount of time. Will 5 minutes suffice for you?
Is that enough, sir, for 3?
I asked, it was a question for you. Will 5 minutes suffice? If you need more, I will give you more time. Do you need?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Minimum 10 minutes.
Well, it's the most I could do is 9, right? I'll ask the city attorney because each one.
I wanted to.
For the record, this is the CLA. There are
One second. Go ahead.
There are 2 appeals, so a total of 6 minutes should suffice. The 3rd item doesn't include an appeal.
Okay. So the most I can give you is 6 minutes, and I'll give each side 6 minutes. The appellant.
Is there any possibility to get more?
I cannot. I have to stick with the rules. But there are 2 items. Each one you get 3 minutes on, so you have a total of 6 minutes.
Okay, sir. Tell me which one you started.
You can speak to all 3. They're all. The item is there are 3 items at once. There are 2 appeals. You're speaking as the appellant on 2 of the appeals, so you have 3 minutes for each one. You can divide it however you like, but you have a total of 6 minutes.
First of all, thank you for your time of all the honorable councilman. The reason I am here, applicant, and unfortunately, city staff, the way they told, are misleading, misrepresenting the law, the fact, and ordinance LMSC 21, maximum 750. I wanted to show you the picture because I don't think I can, if I want to talk, it's half an hour. Could you please, all of the councilmen, look at all these 7 pictures?
The sergeants will take whatever you want from, and they'll just deliver it.
Already you have it. Already in
okay.
Before
Go ahead then.
I have certificate of occupancy. After judgment, they show entrance 1616 South Flower. This is one thing. And this one is issued after judgment with the city attorney, Charles Swart. And unfortunately, city staff ignored it, especially Mr. Sang, he took it here. 200 times I emailed to them, misrepresent the Palm community. Before I started, I wanted the last thing they fill it up, they put it in the city clerk. It was last night. I'm sure none of you study. I want it with the open eyes, all of you make decision. I'm not coming here to give me favor. I am 100% pro-project, but it doesn't destroy my entrance. Historic 40 years, I use it. Certificate occupancy, covenant, I win it in the judgment. The judge, they told, free forever, valid enforcement. It means easement apartment. And unfortunately, nobody attention. I sent to city attorney, I sent to the Mr. Sang, his boss, everybody. Only they give me 8 parking, but they ignoring 40 years of using entrance 1660 flower. Is less than 682 square feet. According ordinance LMC 12.21, they wrote it less than 750, easy, usable for pedestrian. They ignore it. And I don't know, the city run by applicant or real staff like Mr. Sang and other friends. I am a board of director of Figaro Corridor. I work free for the area. I never see the city staff, they ignoring the law. And for that reason, I wanted to stop it. All of you guys, before to make decision to tell me yes or no, I obey that. Read it, the legal thing, I will brought it, and then make decision. They put in the file of city clerk on the 9 o'clock in the Thursday night. I didn't have the time. Up to the morning, I was wake up to fill it up because applicant, they sent me last night 9 o'clock against of that. I wanted you to stop the project up to educate yourself. Whatever I give you, if I am by law, I am right, give me my right. I didn't come to get any special favor from you guys. This is the distance they shows 680, 1616 flower, their applicant place to 1721, my property, and Hope Street up to the gate is 1,482. They make the ordinance and they don't obey it, and I don't know. City run by the applicant or real staff. And this is the parking 40 years, I use it. In the roof of the parking 1660 flower. Any place here, I accepted as covenants 1984 up to now. They didn't care about the judgment. They misinterpret. I never see. If I go to the third country in the world, I didn't see somebody play with the law, interpret it wrongly. I'm very surprised. 45 years I'm here. I'm board of the director of Figaro Corridor free, working free to make a nicer place. And I never see. And I go to my council 9, I explain 2 hours with their deputy, and as you see, they told me I am right, they deny it. Only one thing I wanted, if you are not sure, don't go under vote. Please educate yourself, all the document in city clerk. I want it as educated person to sit it in front of me. Please educate and see what is going on, and if I am wrong, give me my right. And, this is one thing, and the last thing I wanted to tell you, when the court, they tell, is free forever and enforceable, this covenant, it means easement apartment. It means whatever they give the rule for the applicant, automatically come to me, and I have 30 years signed.
Thank you, sir. I have to give everybody the same amount of time.
Only in Texas. I have the sign 30 years in my place. 100 times I go to the city, they told me mandatory because I am a small guy.
Thank you.
For them, no. For
Thank-
them, they added
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to give everybody the same amount of time. Thank you. I can't have a back and forth. Thank you, sir. Okay. We now have to hear from the applicant. Mr. Herman, please don't yell out. That's your only warning. Thank you. Okay. Next, we will hear from the applicant. Is there a representative from the applicant here? You'll have 6 minutes and a little bit extra if you need it, given equal time issues.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, council members. I am Daniel Taban of Jade Enterprises, a privately held real estate investment, development, and management company based in Los Angeles for over 40 years. We are excited to today present our project, which will bring 2 hotels with 300 new hotel rooms in support of the city's billion-dollar investment in our convention center. More importantly, our project has maintained support from the neighborhood, business groups, and labor. Still, we must be honest. The downtown LA of today is very different than when the project was first initiated. And the amendments respectfully requested, including the off-site digital signage, is to ensure the viability of the project. Thank you.
Good afternoon, honorable Plum members and assembled city staff. I'm Tanner Blackman of Irvine & Associates, Inc., on behalf of the applicant team for the South Park Towers. Firstly, we want to thank planning staff for their diligent work on this transformational project. You'll notice we have a 2018 case number, so a solid 7 years of effort has gone into getting us here today. The appeals before you today are not really about the approvals. Rather, the appellant's goal relates to existing parking covenants, which is a private contract matter. We agree with planning's responses to the appeal points for both the track map and the CPC approvals of the sign district and project entitlements. We have met with the appellant repeatedly, as recently as last week, to ensure him that we will continue to honor and maintain the parking covenant for 8 spaces per the terms of the covenant, even during construction. We also agree with planning's original recommendations to CPC in July of this year and have submitted a letter to Plum requesting that this body reinstate the sign district ordinance and project conditions as staff presented them to CPC just a few months ago after several years of vetting and review. We thank CD14 for their motion to that effect. And just one note that the LADOT compliance review for any hazard to traffic has already been completed as part of the environmental process. Ostensibly, CPC removed these signs because they would be visible from the freeway. However, within walking distance from the project site, we count at least 6 existing or approved sign districts with freeway-facing signs. So our signage is very much in line with existing city policy. The council's recent discussion around revenue generation for the convention center redevelopment shows the importance of the signage in ensuring these transformational projects are able to get built. We also want to thank CD14 for their motions regarding the CPC conditions. These minor amendments will return the project to the design features that had been proposed and thoroughly vetted by various sections of the planning department over years, and will ensure that the project is able to get built to create that much needed housing, hotel rooms supportive of the convention center, jobs, and public benefits. We thank you for your consideration. We're available for any questions.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll move to public comment on this item. Anyone who's here to speak to this item, you'll get 1 minute per person. Okay, we'll start with Audit LA there, and then we'll move to this gentleman. Just one moment. The woman behind you, she's going first. Yeah, and then you're next. You can speak to 11, 12, or 13. You have 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Or any combination of those three are all treating it as one item. So go ahead.
Thank you. When it comes to the hotel and everything, like I know we need a hotel since we're building this really expensive thing that we can't afford. But the thing with the alcohol thing and reducing parking is we don't have enough parking, Bob. And with all these people coming to the convention center, they're going to need parking. Hotel people are going to need parking. And the people that live at this project are going to need parking. Alcohol, okay, people may say they need alcohol, but now with, you have DoorDash and you have all these different things, there's ways to get alcohol without sacrificing much needed parking. And so I say absolutely no to the alcohol in exchange for parking. If you want to grant them the alcohol thing, then that could be a separate thing. But I think that you need to demand that they put full parking because it's a nightmare. Parking's a nightmare. And whatever they, come down from, Sacramento saying we don't need parking, it's ridiculous. You're going to have a new convention center with no parking and all these new apartments and everything in stores, no parking.
Thank you. Next speaker, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Guzman. I'm a representative with the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters. I'm here in support of item 11 through 13. This project will provide good-paying jobs with pensions and benefits for the hardworking men and women who live in Los Angeles. They also deliver much-needed housing, which our communities are asking for every single day. We are proud to support responsible developers like the Venice Hope Group, who constantly invest in our city and build projects the right way, safely, responsible, and with local workers. These projects mean housing and real opportunities for working families. I respectfully ask you to approve item 11 through 13 and allow us to move forward and build these important projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, honorable committee members. My name is Kiara Rosales. I am a front desk agent at the DoubleTree downtown Los Angeles, and I am a member of Unite Here Local 11. I support the South Park Tower Venice Hope project. This is the right time to move forward on this. This project will create both housing and new hotel uses right where they make sense in downtown LA, in walking distance of the convention center. These kinds of mixed-use projects that provide both housing and hotel use more thoughtfully consider and job and housing balance in downtown and are worthy of consideration. Please support this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, honorable committee members. My name is Diana Rios. I am a member of Unite Here Local 11, the Hospitality Workers Union. I am here to strongly support the South Park Towers Venice Hope project. The project not only provides a mix of both hotel and housing, but it has something that our knowledge is quite unique. As a part of an incentive package previously considered by City Council, the applicant has agreed to an emergency use agreement allowing the hotel to be used by the city to house people in cases of emergency, whether that be a natural disaster or something like COVID-19. As you might remember, too many hotels refused participation in the Project Room Key and other programs, and we are happy to see the developer and city agree to this as part of the previously considered incentive package. Please support this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Erwin García. Soy parte del Jonathan Club y miembro del United Local 11.
Hello. Perdón, ¿puede repetir su nombre? Es Edwin García, ¿cierto?
Sí, Erwin García.
Hello, my name is Edward Garcia and I'm part of Unite Local 11. ¿Y de qué otro grupo?
El del Jonathan Club, trabajo en el Jonathan.
And I work in Jonathan Club. Adelante, señor.
Les pido que aprueben este proyecto South Park Towers. Combinar hoteles y viviendas tiene mucho sentido.
I'm asking for you to approve the South Park Towers project, combining living and the use of it as a hotel. It makes a lot of sense.
Y me alegro que este no sea un proyecto completamente hotel.
And it brings me joy that this isn't just a project that's focused on a hotel.
Hacerlo significa que más personas pueden vivir en el downtown.
Adelante. Adelante, señor.
Okay. completamente hotel. Hacerlo significa que más personas pueden vivir en el downtown, que es un importante centro laboral y con excelente acceso de transporte público.
And building it is excellent not only for hotel use, but it also means that more people are going to be able to live downtown, which is important in terms of access to public transportation.
También me alegra que el proyecto incluya incentivos para usar transporte público, el uso compartido de automóviles y el uso de camionetas compartidas. Gracias.
It also makes me happy that this incentivizes the use of mixed transportation as well as public transportation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, honorables miembros del comité. Mi nombre es Joana Venegas. Soy room attendant y miembro del Union Local 11.
Good afternoon. My name is Joana Venegas, and I am a member of Local 11 as well as a room attendant. Adelante.
Apoyo el proyecto South Tower Vince Hope, en particular el apoyo como un proyecto mixto de las viviendas y hoteles y lugares del proyecto que es solo hoteles.
I support the South Tower Vincent Hope project, particularly because it's a mixed-use project, so that way we are building places for people to live as well as building a hotel. So I support it because it's not just building a hotel.
Realizar este proyecto de un mixto puede reducir las millas vehiculares recomendadas, específicamente dado que es un encuentro en un área donde ambos usos particularmente apropiados.
Building this project would help because it would reduce the vehicle mileage, because this project is located in a place where there's both access to public transportation as well as private forms of transportation.
Cerca de convenciones y con excelentes accesos de transporte público, una de las propiedades del plan comunitario del downtown.
It's also very close to, it's close access to the convention center as well as previously mentioned public transportation.
Promover un ambiente, should I read it?
You know, that's it. You can finish your sentence, but then we have to move on.
Buenas tardes, honorables miembros del comité. Mi nombre es Daniel Huerta. Soy miembro de Local 11. Estoy aquí junto con muchas de estas personas para pedirles que voten sí al proyecto South Park.
Hi, my name is Daniel Huerta, and I'm here as a member of Local 11, with a lot of other people, here asking you to support the project at South Park.
Quiero mencionar que como parte de un paquete de iniciativas previamente considerado, el solicitante ha aceptado permitir que el hotel sea utilizado en casos de emergencia.
I think it's something to consider the fact that this project, the party soliciting has also accepted to use this project as a mixed-use project, particularly when we're talking about emergency situations.
Ya sea como un desastre natural o algo como el COVID-19.
Whether it's a natural disaster or something like COVID-19.
Creo que es una idea excelente y única. Además del proyecto incluye un solo hotel, sino también viviendas.
I think it's a both excellent and unique project due to the fact that it's not only including hotel rooms, but also living spaces.
Urgentemente necesaria en el downtown de Los Ángeles. Por favor, apoyen este proyecto.
And this is urgently needed in downtown Los Angeles. Please support this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next speaker.
Good morning, President Harris Dawson. So 11, 12, 13, I support this project because like the previous speaker said, it creates a lot of jobs. But my concern is that you guys only provide giving those amazing contract to the non-Scientology organization. You always ignore us, which is the Scientology organization. But the thing is, whenever the city has a big contract, 1 billion contract, 5 trillion contract, you always prioritize your Palestinian, your illegal immigrants, and then whatever organization. You never give any pay raise to the Scientology worker, because right now Scientology workers are working their minimum wage. We also demand the $30 minimum dollars per hour in all Scientology worker, because we also build the city, we also work hard to help the city, but you only send all of those violent protests to harass every single Scientologist. Shame on you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers on this item, public speakers? No, okay, public comment on this item is closed. We'll now hear from Councilwoman Jurado's office, I believe. Can speak to this item. Welcome.
Good afternoon, honorable council members. Kevin Ocobillo, Planning Director for Councilmember Isabel Jurado. The project before you today is artfully designed and adds housing and additional hotel space to the downtown LA skyline. It has gone through many design iterations and changes, and what you see before you today is a project that contributes to the vibrancy of our urban core. Since CPC acted on this item, our office has consulted with the applicant, city planning, the city attorney, and CLA on several changes to align the project with its original proposal. I'm happy to respectfully ask for this committee to move forward with the following. For item 11, to deny the tract map appeal and sustain CPC's recommendation. For item 12, deny the appeals and sustain the CPC approval of the entitlements with modification to condition 32E, as read by the CLA earlier, and an amendment to condition 33 to allow for a pickup drop-off zone. And for item 13, recommend to approve the project with the modification to restore the digital offsite sign S1 as recommended in the ordinance and exhibits recommended in the city planning staff report to CPC. I'm available if there's any questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And then before we move to the committee discussion, I just want to announce for the room, I see a lot of people coming in who are probably coming in for Budget and Finance Committee. Please note that while that was scheduled to start at 3 o'clock, which is now, the room has been double booked. We are finishing up this, we were only given an hour to do planning. We are moving as fast as we can, but there's no way budget is starting until at least 3:30. So if you're here for budget, you can take a half hour and come back. We're going to ambitiously try to be done by 3:30, but you don't need to sit here for a half hour if you're here for budget. It's better things you can do with your time. Okay. So, colleagues, are there comments or questions? I guess I'll start with asking the staff if you could respond to, the appellant raised a number of concerns about his covenant with the parking and some of the other issues of egress and ingress. If you could respond to those, that would be great.
Sure, absolutely. Morsong with City Planning. So I'll start by saying that the appellant has not raised any new arguments, that these are arguments that we've heard over the last year, frankly, at various levels of decision-making for this project, starting with the first tract appeal and then the first appeal and then the CPC levels as well. The appellant has a number of concerns. One of them is that the appellant is under the impression that the exact location of his parking spaces and the access to his parking spaces has to be provided specifically from the address 1616 South Flower Street. This property, the project site, is one lot. It's one single ground lot with a whole range of addresses, and so there is no actual requirement that those parking spaces or access be provided at one specific address. That also wouldn't technically be feasible because, again, the property is one lot, and it's not like there's one portion of the lot that's tied to one specific address. So that's one of their concerns. There's a variety of other concerns as well that staff has responded to in detail in the appeal responses, but also happy to discuss any other specific issues.
Okay. Colleagues, are any additional comments or questions on this item? I'm going to ask that we move forward the recommendations that were essentially put forward by Councilwoman Jurado. Although the one thing I would add, though, is that you know, if we are granting, the department asked to have the sign, the CPC took out the sign. Councilwoman Jurado is asking us to put that back in, which I'm happy to move that forward. I would just say that it is, I want to say for the record, I don't know if we need to do anything, that it is subject to Caltrans approval. And I want to make sure that while we put this in, we're authorizing it. I just don't want us picking up any liability. If for some reason Caltrans says no or something like that, I don't want any liability back on the city. Would there be any liability back on the city?
Would you like to add that to the modification?
Sure,
Read to-
sure.
okay, so
Which
the
is just to making it clear that while we are authorizing this, we understand that it is subject to state approval, and any risks to the project based on the necessity of having a sign are borne by the developer, not by the city. Because we are being asked, the CPC took that out, we're being asked to put it back in, and I'm happy to put it back in. I just don't want to put any risk to the project in vis-a-vis this sign. So if you have the best way to frame that, I'm trying to create the legislative record here that this is not a requirement that we are putting in the project. This is something we are authorizing for them to have the chance to get based on the state, but it is not something that that is contingent on our project in any way.
Yeah, so the modification is an instruction to our office to prepare the sign district with that sign in it. The city, I think the city attorney's office, based on this record, can look at the language to be added in form and legality to reflect your motion.
Okay, great. So in that case, do I need to read these recommendations again? I feel like they've been read 3 times already.
Well,
Yes, Chair.
We do need to read them again?
Uh,
I think it's clear what action you've taken, so I think we're good.
Okay, so we can just move to a vote?
Yeah, and then in addition, just to add some specificity for item 13, I just want to make it clear that the formal request to the city attorney to prepare and present the draft ordinance as to the sign regulations, in addition to the language that you just stated for the record, that the city would not be liable. And the city attorney will consider that when they draft the ordinance as to form and legality.
Right, it is not something that we have to do as a project,
Yes.
something we are allowing them to do if they can.
Yes, and in addition, just an abundance of caution to instruct the CLA to convene the Public Benefits Trust Fund Committee within 6 months of the receipt of the public benefits payment by the Public Benefit Trust Fund. With that, I think we're covered, Council.
Sorry, Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office. When the modifications were read into the record, it was just the modification, so we still need the moving language on the project and the environmental. Can we go ahead and have the CLA read those with the modifications?
I'll read them quickly.
Thank you.
This is for all 3, 11, 12, and 13? Okay.
12, 13, yes.
Okay. For item 11, deny the appeal and sustain the decision of the Deputy Advisory Agency's decision to approve the vesting tentative track map and a haul route, subject to the modified conditions of approval attached to the council file and adoption of the project findings, and adopt the Sustainable Communities Environmental Assessment findings adopted by the City Planning Commission as its own, and adopt the Sustainable Communities Environmental Assessment and Mitigation Monitoring Program attached to the council file. For item 12, deny the appeal and sustain the determination of the Planning Commission in approving 1, a conditional use permit, 2, a site plan review, 3, a director's determination as those are attached to the council file, subject to modified conditions of approval, and adopt the amended findings attached to the council file, and adopt the Sustainable Communities Environmental Assessment findings of the City Planning Commission as its own, and adopt the Sustainable Communities Environmental Assessment and Mitigation Monitoring Program attached to the council file. For 13, adopt the modified ordinances attached to the City Planning Commission report dated October 28, 2025, including 1, a draft ordinance for the establishment of a sign district zoning designation for the project site, and 2, propose ordinance to provide a comprehensive set of sign regulations for the project site. Request the city attorney to prepare and present the draft ordinance to provide a comprehensive set of sign regulations for the project site. Approve a transfer of floor area rights and associated public benefits payment as attached to the council file, and instruct the chief legislative analyst to convene the Public Benefit Trust Fund Committee within 6 months of the receipt of the public benefits payment of the Public Benefit Trust Fund.
Subject to the modifications
Subject
made
to the modifications as discussed. Okay, can we call the roll?
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hut.
Yes.
Nazarian.
Yes.
Lee.
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
So item number 11 and 12 are to deny the appeals. Number 13 is adopted as amended.
Great. Okay, what's next?
Item 14 is a categorical exemption from CEQA, the City Administrative Officer's report, and the City Attorney report, and draft ordinance relative to amending the municipal code for the implementation of a comprehensive fee update of the Planning Department.
Okay. Are there any members of the public who came to speak to this item? Seeing no members of the public coming to speak to this item, public comment is closed. Okay. So we'll start, go ahead with the report. Yeah, we don't need a big, just give us a 2-second version.
Hi, Kelly O'Malley with the Office of the City Administrative Officer. The CAO report reviewed the comprehensive fee study and the department's recommended fee structure, including the recommendation to set some fees below full cost recovery. We recognize the value of these policy considerations. However, we recommend setting the case processing fees evaluated in this fee study at full cost recovery, consistent with the city's financial policies. And that is the difference between the CAO report and the draft city attorney ordinance, which reflects the Department of City Planning's recommended fees.
Okay. Colleagues, any comments or questions on this? Seeing none, I'm going to recommend that we adopt the draft ordinance attached to the city attorney report in the council file dated November 17, 2025, and adopt the CEQA findings in the city attorney's report as its own. Hold the CAO report in committee to allow fuller discussion regarding the full cost recovery on subsidized fees. So we can deal with that when we have time to deal with that. Let's call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hut.
Yes.
Nazarian. Nazarian. Lee.
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
5 ayes, and this item is adopted.
Okay. And was asked to, per a conversation with the city attorney and Department of Building and Safety, so that's approved, that item, thank you. On item 4, they have come to some discussion and have asked that we add a little bit of language, so I'm going to ask for reconsideration of 4, and then I'll read in the additional recommendation. So let's call the roll on reconsidering item 4.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hut. Nazarian. Nazarian. Lee.
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
The item is reconsidered.
Okay. So per the conversation between the city attorney and Building and Safety, asking that we adopt the city attorney report and draft ordinance in council file, and then 2, acknowledge DBS Rule 38 letter and ask DBS to submit a technical cleanup amendment and submit it after the new building code takes effect on January 1, 2026. So that's the addition. So with that, unless there's any comments or questions, let's call the roll. It's a substitute, okay, it's a substitute, not an addition, as I read it in. Adopting the city attorney report and draft ordinance in council file, and acknowledging what I read there, the DBS rule, and asking for the letter. Okay, so it's substitute amendment. Let's vote on that as amended.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hut. Nazarian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Rahman.
Yes.
5 ayes, and this item is approved as amended.
Okay. What is next?
Item 15 is the Planning Department report and the proposed interim control ordinance relative to prohibiting the issuance of demolition permits of occupied residential dwelling units that are or were subject to any form of rent or price control in a portion of the Valley Glen community in CD2.
Okay, first, are there any members of the public who wish to speak to this item who have not spoken for 2 minutes already? Okay, seeing no members of the public, let's move on to the Planning Department to present the report. And then I'll go to Councilmember Nazarian to start on this. It's your.
Good afternoon. David Olivo, City Planning Department. As requested, the prepared ICO would prohibit the issuance of new demolition permits for occupied residential dwelling units that are in or were subject to any form of recent or price control within a portion
Just
of the
tilt the
Valley
mic
Glen
down.
community. Sorry about that. We want to emphasize that the State Housing and Community Department will need to review this if it is initially approved here before consideration by the City Council. Please note that we have staff from Community Planning Bureau, Citywide Housing Policy, and Los Angeles Housing Department here for questions.
Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Nazarian to start, to make whatever comments you wish on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have a question for planning. I just want to provide brief comments and clarify what's before us today. So the action before Plum is to consider the policy direction, not the adoption of a final ordinance, to be able to get this through form and legality and the state's HCD. I want to speak to why this policy direction is so important. We need more housing, especially affordable housing, and we must keep pushing for production at every income level. But being pro-housing also means preserving the affordable homes we already have, especially our RSO units, which make up the backbone of Los Angeles's naturally occurring affordable housing. When we lose RSO units, we don't get them back. Every demolition of an occupied RSO unit, whether it's 3 units or 30, means the loss of affordability, the loss of stability, and very often the displacement of households with limited options. Protecting this stock is not in conflict with building new housing. It is a necessary part of responsibly stewarding our housing ecosystem. This proposed ICO responds directly to those concerns. As drafted, it would temporarily prohibit demolition permits for occupied units, and it would apply only within the defined area identified in Exhibit B in your pamphlets, an area in the Valley Glen community of District 2 with a high concentration of RSO units, which I'm afraid will become targets over the course of the next years. To demonstrate the urgency, I want to point to an example currently unfolding in my district. An ED1 project has been proposed that requires the demolition of 6 RSO units. 3 of those units are currently occupied, and those households have been told they must leave by January 7th. This is exactly why the council moved to pursue an ICO, because these situations are happening right now. Without a temporary guardrail, we risk losing regulated units and displacing families in the midst of an already severe housing crisis. Again, I want to be very clear. Supporting production and protecting tenants are not mutually exclusive. We can and must do both. So, colleagues, today's action is not about stopping housing. It's about preserving the affordable housing we already have while we continue to build more. It's about making sure that as we move forward toward a more housing abundant city, we are not doing it at the expense of the very residents we aim to serve. I urge the committee to support this policy direction, and I thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, colleagues. Councilwoman Rahman.
I just had a question. I want to thank Councilmember Nazarian for the care that he has demonstrated over and over again for low-income tenants in the city who are often, I think, the unwitting recipients of displacement in our city right now. I just wanted to ask, this is an interim control ordinance, so I'm curious what are we waiting, what is it kind of, when will it stop? Because normally an interim control ordinance happens while you're waiting for a new plan to be approved or a new policy to be approved. But in this case, we have already approved the codified ED1 process in council. And there may be a new community plan locally, but I guess I just, and I do just want to preface this by saying I completely agree with the council member that new growth and existing tenants should not have to come in opposition to each other. It's a question for you guys.
The ICO would initially be in effect for 45 days, and it can be extended.
No, I understand. I'm not talking about the timeline. I'm
Okay.
saying what is it waiting for?
What's going to be different in 45 days is the question.
Yeah.
You're asking for what the solution would be?
Like, what is it? It's an interim control until
Right.
what longer-term control are we waiting for here?
Some of the discussions that have taken place with the planning department and the housing department are also looking at administrative changes, including an online form that LAHD would be looking at. We can have LAHD staff, if they want to speak to what that might look like.
An online form for what?
That helps track the timing for residents.
Sorry, I know it's been a long day, and I don't want to lengthen the discussion, but what is we're waiting for a form?
Vince, did you want to?
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, great. So the online form that was just described is a one-page form that LAHD has created to track when the owners are projecting their start of construction activities date will take place. And that's an important date because the tenants have a right to remain in their unit up until 6 months prior to the start of that construction date. So that form helps us identify the projected date so the tenants can remain in their units the maximum amount of time. And it tracks the project through the entire period of the Ellis withdrawal so that we know if there are any changes to that date.
And that form, how long will it take to put a form online?
It's already online.
So then, I guess I'm just a little bit confused about what is the interim nature of this? It seems like what we're doing is just creating a separate policy for one neighborhood around how we respond to ED1 projects. And I have been one of the strongest voices on the council for protecting tenants, and I will continue to be a fighter for tenants, but this particular intervention, I'm just not understanding it, so maybe I could get a little bit more guidance on.
Yeah, and just to add to your question, which is, what will be different in 45 days from now that's not here now? Like, we're waiting for 45 days. There must be a reason. Ms.
Yeah, or potentially for 2 years, because interim control ordinances can go for 2 years.
Well, that's a question for the city council. This is responsive to a city council motion to put in an ICO.
But that was before we codified ED1.
I mean, the
Yes, it
recent
was a
version.
motion from August, and it was before the final
Sure.
ED1 was codified.
Right, so this is a question, this was a motion from the city council to adopt an ICO. If the
It's
council
not,
wants to
it's
take-
not actually, okay.
This was, and maybe Mr. Nazarian can shed some light on it. The purpose of this 45-day extension, was it originally to deal with the ED1 codification, or is there another, is there something else that we're waiting for?
It was meant to deal with the deadline of the eviction, which is January 7th. And the goal is to give the tenants as much recourse as possible.
So this would be a 45-day, but there's no intention on expanding it past 45 days? I mean, so we have 45 days to give the tenants a little bit more time, is that the idea?
We'll see what happens. But this is a very sensitive, without getting into too much detail now, but this is a very sensitive area. And I think there's going to be more of these projects also coming. And until we don't have projects in place, housing in place that allows, especially these vulnerable constituents who have been living and making RSO units their home for the past decades on end, have a place to be able to resettle in, this is going to become more and more of an issue of displacement. So I want to make sure that my residents have the recourse necessary to be able to combat evictions like this.
Sorry, if I could just add, this is, if the projects in question are allowed by our current planning code, this is exactly the kind of thing that this council has tried to stop in the past 381 projects, and we've lost litigation on it, and this is the kind of thing that we're not supposed to be doing under HCD regulations. So I feel very uncomfortable about moving forward with this based on what I understand of the planning code. And again, with all respect to Councilmember Nazarian's valiant efforts to support his tenants, you know that's something I deeply care about. I'm not sure how this works with all of the other planning regulations that we have in the city. How can you stop the application of planning laws in one neighborhood indefinitely? And how does that comport with our housing element, our planning code, the mandates that we have to build housing? I also would just like to say I would love a little bit more guidance from the planning department here on the context that we're dealing with. I feel like I'm just asking questions and not getting any answers.
Planning want to respond?
Just in terms of timing, I mean, the ICO would not take effect until after HCD approval, just to put that out there.
The what wouldn't take effect?
The ICO, the proposed ICO would not take effect until after state approval.
And why are we going to HCD for approval? We've never sent an ICO to HCD for approval, right? Why would we be doing that with this?
Yeah, we have. Boyle Heights was a recent one.
We do. This is an initial approval, and then it would go to council.
I can't hear her. Sorry.
It's
Under the, Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office, if I can help, under the Housing Crisis Act, any moratorium that could affect housing development has to be approved by HCD, and if they don't approve it, it's void. And that's why we sent Boyle Heights, and they did modify Boyle Heights. I'm sorry, Councilmember.
And I guess my question is, if we are able to do that in one neighborhood, can't we just put forward ICOs in every neighborhood? Like, wouldn't anybody who's opposing new development, there's always pushback against new development. Like, why are we putting forward new rules if we're just going to say, oh yeah, we're just going to put forward ICOs and not follow them? You know what, Councilmember Bloomfield, I don't want to belabor the point. I don't think this is, on the basis of what I understand of our planning regulations, I don't think this is feasible. I'm happy to just,
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, this is, even if we move this forward for 45 days and it has to go to HCD, and so that's a whole other process. But we're going to have to deal with this reality. There is a tension. While I agree with Councilman Nazarian, it shouldn't be a choice, one or the other. The reality is, a lot of our RSO units are 100 years old, and they are going to be targets for housing, for new housing, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. We've gone out of our way to create a lot of landing pads for any tenant that's in there. We as a council work very hard to do that. But when you're talking about losing 5 units and getting 100 units, those are choices that we have to make to create more housing. But what we have done and what we will continue to do is to care about those 5 units and to make sure that they have good relocation, they have the right of return, all the things that we have worked for to make sure that that we care about those tenants, but we have to care about them in such a way that does not prevent us from moving forward with meeting our housing element numbers and from building the housing that we desperately need. This is why with the other day when we were talking about lowering the number of RSO units from 12 to 5, I had concerns about that. It's the same issue. We're concerned about the people that are there, but we can't not see the forest between the trees. And we have to figure out how to create that balance. Not a choice, but it is a balance.
And sorry, Councilmember Bloomfield, if I could just say one other thing, like this council chose also not to impact single-family neighborhoods with upzoning. So we have, and I tried to push against that. We as a body chose to target multifamily. Now there are multifamily units that are being redeveloped. And now we're saying don't target multifamily. So at this point, where in the city are we planning to build housing? Like where is allowable to build housing? Like
These are
it's just, these are tough questions, but we need more housing, and I just can't, we have to find a pathway forward that works.
I hear you on that. Given the time, I'm going to propose that we move forward on this one. This may be the last one of these that I support, not just for this project, but for any of the projects in terms of how this goes forward. But I think at this point, giving you the 45 days, given everything leading up to this, I'm willing to make that recommendation, let the chips fall where they may. But we should take a vote, we should move on, and we have to finish up as quick as possible because budget's meeting. So I'm going to recommend that we adopt the proposed interim control ordinance attached to the Planning Department dated December 4, 2025. Request the city attorney to prepare and present the draft ordinance, including the environmental clearance. But I think Councilwoman Rahman has raised some very important questions that will color these kinds of questions as we move forward. So with that, let's call the roll and see where the chips land.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Hutt.
Yes.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Lee. Rahman.
No.
This item is approved as amended.
Okay. What is before us now?
Chair, if I may, for the record, for item 10, a letter from Council District 7 has been uploaded to the council file to request a 15-day extension for council to act as permitted by the administrative code. Now, before the committee is item number 16, City Attorney Report relative to a settlement proposal in the case entitled Strategic Actions for a Just Economy et al. v. City.
Before we take that up, given the timing, on the timing on that, can we continue that item without risking anything to the project? I'm asking the city attorney and the planning department. We're hitting at 3:30. We're going to have to close this meeting out. But if we can continue it without any negative effect, then I would recommend that we do that.
Paris Knox, City Attorney. The negative effect is that we have a court hearing this coming Friday that we're looking to report back that we've taken at least this action that this committee has actually considered. The revised
So we
settlement
can't.
offer.
That's we do. You're saying there's a court action, so we really should hear this.
Yes, we've made representations to the other parties.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Apologize to everyone who was here for the budget. It's going to be a little bit longer in this committee because we now have to go into closed session for that, right? Is there anything else in open session? You mentioned item 15. Do we need to do anything with regard to Councilwoman Rodriguez's request for 15 days?
No, Chair, that's taken care of already.
Okay. So all open session items are complete, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so now we will move to closed session, and we will have to clear the room for closed session.
Wait, first, Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office, you have to ask if there's any public comment on item 16 before we go into closed session.
Oh, right, item 16. Yes, thank you. So on item 16, is there anyone here who has not spoken for 2 minutes who wishes to speak to item 16? If so, come forward. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to item 16 who has not spoken for 2 minutes? Seeing nobody coming forward for item 16, thank you for that. Public comment on that item is closed, and we will move to closed session. Is there anything else we need to do?
Take a vote.
We'll do general public comment. We have to do that after closed session. Go ahead.
Take a vote to adjourn into closed session? Or
We have to take a vote for that?
Okay, I'm sorry. That's fine. Okay, the committee will now go into closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 to confer with legal
Wait,
counsel.
excuse me, can I have a minute, please? I need.
Sure.
I always say, two of us can save themselves. First two to go, please. Where are you going? We just have general public comment. We're back into open session. And we're here for general public comment. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Andrew Graff. I'm an attorney on behalf of Creed LA. We are appellants for item number 1 that was continued to January 13th. This morning, you had previously heard agenda item 5, which is a related item to agenda item 1, and relied on the negative declaration that we are currently appealing. And we would ask that you reconsider agenda item number 5 to continue that item to the January 13th date so that it could be considered concurrently with our appeal of the negative declaration. Your approval did rely on the negative declaration that we appealed. We did submit comments this morning that addressed some of the responses that the applicant and the city made to our appeal letter that is in the record for both item 5 and item number 1. So we would respectfully request that you reconsider your item and continue it so that you can consider it concurrently with the item number 1, our appeal. Thank you.
Okay. City Attorney?
Kathy Phelan, City Attorney's Office. The general plan amendment needs to be acted upon within 75 days of the mayor's recommendation, or it's deemed denied by operation of law, so it cannot be continued unless it's in the interest to have it fail.
Okay, thank you. So you can have an offline conversation with the city attorney, but I can't allow additional time. Is there anyone else here who is here for general public comment? Going once, going twice. General public comment is closed. Is there anything else before us? No. No. Okay. This meeting is adjourned.